Namaste everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday Wisdom Amatya Sampat series. We have already gone through Janapada, Abhijata, Swavagraha, and I am going to talk about Krutishilpo. Now this is a trait that is talking about the skill set and essentially about variety of skill sets. So in an Amatya, in a manager, what would we look for? As per Kautilya, he is looking for expertise in a particular domain over a variety of functions. And we are not talking about mastery in a particular stream, but essentially about know-how of all processes or sub-functions in that particular area. It is so similar to what all large, good, successful organizations do. For example, if they want to create general managers, the process starts with hiring candidates from various kinds of colleges, but also B schools. And these B school grads are taken through various stints in various functions. What is the idea? The idea is to get them exposed to the processes in these functions so that when they take up managerial positions, they have the know-how of what can go wrong, how would things go right, what are some of the control processes, control mechanisms that can be built in, and how would they develop people in those functions. It is only through exposure that they would know what is the right thing to be done. Similarly, when organizations look at selection of senior leaders, a very, very similar process is undertaken. They look at the journeys of these professionals and say, okay, which all parts, functions, departments, processes, geographies has this particular professional been exposed to? It is the amount of diversity that they're looking for. So in a particular geography, in a particular business unit, in a particular area, they're looking at what's the amount of understanding in all the blocks that build this unit. What's the amount of understanding that this particular professional has? In effect, they are looking at this trait called Krutishilpo. Now, how would we utilize this information? There are two ways of looking at it. One is in your own journey, wherever you are, versus where do you want to be in the next 5, 10, 15 years? And what does it take, other than building depth of knowledge in that function? It will take exposure to the different sub-functions, the various processes, various kinds of partners to be dealt with, allies, competitors, in that large function or department or organization or business unit. And that is how one must plan one's own journey in order to make oneself suitable for a leadership position. Similarly, the second aspect of how do we use this trait, this information that this trait is important, is to build your people, is to build great leaders within your span of control. How do you build them? A simple answer is to get them to manage various processes, various geographies, various kinds of customers, various kinds of vendors, various partners, different sub-functions, to add diversity, add richness, and build their skill sets around these various combinations. It is quite apparent in the hospitality industry, but it is present everywhere. A great leader on the sales side would have been exposed to ground sales, channel sales, building of distribution networks, marketing, advertisement, BTL activities, ATL activities, recruitment of various positions, ground sales positions, ASM, RSM, etc., sales leaders, marketing leaders. So that's on the sales side. A great guy on the finance side may have gone through accounting, taxation, costing. He may also have had stints in purchase, logistics, freight management. He may also have had stints within a particular production unit or trading unit and handled smaller P&Ls. And then one selects this kind of a professional to give him charge for a larger P&L or a leadership finance role. And this is only one kind of financial role that I'm talking about. There is treasury, there is risk management. There are various aspects. Similarly, a production guy or an operations or a supply chain folk, they would have gone through purchase, they would have looked at strategic sourcing, they would have looked at manufacturing, they would have looked at outsourcing, importing, distribution networks, warehousing, logistics. And in all of these areas that we've spoken about, they would have looked at technology, they would have looked at people, they would have looked at processes, and all these skill sets put together form what we are talking about, which is Krutishilpo. So please keep building your skill sets and keep building skill sets in all your teams in order to create great leaders and great organizations.